Have you ever loved someone so much that you started ignoring all the red flags? Just because she smiled at you? What if I told you that the very woman you once thought was the one was actually the one who almost destroyed you? You're not alone. Most men don't fall because they're weak. They fall because they believe too deeply in the wrong woman. And by the time you see the truth, you're left with nothing but anxiety, guilt, broken trust, and a memory of a woman who never even deserved you. Today, I'll show you the 10 most painful and evident signs that you're dealing with a bad woman, not just bad as in toxic, but someone who can ruin your life, your peace, and your future. Each sign is based on real stories, each one backed by the wisdom of Stoic philosophy from Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. These aren't random red flags. These are the same signs that destroyed good men, and they didn't even see it coming. So, before you fall for another smile, before you get played again, before you waste your years on the wrong woman, watch this video till the end, because this might just save you. And if you believe in becoming a stronger, wiser, high-value man who walks the Stoic path, subscribe to the channel, write comments if you see that signs, and share it with your brothers who might be blind to the same signs right now. Now, let's begin. Sign 1. She disrespects you in public, but smiles in private. Have you ever been with a lady who, behind closed doors, stated she loves you, yet made fun of you in front of her friends? That's not affection. That's an act of contempt, masquerading as love. Allow me to introduce you to Ryan. Confident was the man Ryan was. This was all before he met Sarah. In the beginning, she was kind, boosted his confidence. In private, he held his hand. On the other hand, in front of others, separate narrative. When he started to speak, she would interrupt. His words made her roll her eyes. Ugh, you wouldn't understand is a common line of defense. Surrounded by her pals, she went through all this. For supper, for gatherings with relatives, at informal gatherings. At first, Ryan didn't take it seriously, saying, "She's just joking." However, an unusual occurrence occurred as time passed. He became silent. He withdrew his views from public discourse. He went silent. It wasn't due to his timidity. However, he was gradually being rendered speechless. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, supposedly said, "A man ought to live in such a way that his joy is predicated on internal factors as little as feasible." However, her acceptance became crucial to Ryan's happiness. Her affirmation, she adores them. Using private praise and public scolding, she trained him much like a dog. You shouldn't love a lady privately if she doesn't appreciate you publicly. This is the first red flag, and it's a quiet deflator for men's self-esteem. Sign 2. She triggers you just to control you. I don't think all women are looking for love. Their goal is to exert dominion, and a man's emotions may be manipulated the quickest way. Allow me to introduce you to Farhan. Farhan was an easygoing man, constantly in command. That is, until he encountered her. Her beauty was undeniable. Her superpower, though, her cues for making him do what she wanted were spot on. What would she say if he took too long to respond? "It seems like you're sick of me already, huh?" What would she say if he grinned excessively? "Right now, who is it that you're grinning at?" When asked if he was occupied, she would respond with, "Some people are always getting your attention, but I'm the only one you give a pass to." What at first appeared to be clingy affection had the effect of psychological warfare. Her intention was to make him feel guilty. She would turn the tables on Farhan whenever he responded, whether by yelling, defending, or explaining. "You see? You seem rather upset. There's an issue with you. Someone like you is poisonous." As Seneca said once, a slave to his passions is never free. Love, in Farhan's mind, was all about fiery emotions. But true love isn't meant to set you on fire. Rather, it's meant to put out the fires within you. A nasty lady will not put up a struggle to make things right. She will engage in conflict with you in an effort to undermine your stability, reasoning that an emotionally vulnerable person is easier to manipulate. Sign 3. She weaponizes her past. On your first date with a female you met, she says, "I want you to know that I've been severely wounded before." It gives you the impression of a guardian at first. Her hardships are understandable, you reason. How will I handle her now? Imagine though, if I told you this is her exact method of manhandling. Her history dictates her present. Trust issues, she claims. You therefore cut ties with your social circle. According to her, her ex cheated on her. Therefore, you will no longer respond to any female employee. She claims to be afraid of abandonment. So you stick around, no matter how bad things become. This is trauma-based emotional blackmail. Not to be dazzled, but no matter what happens in the world, you can control your thoughts. Discover this, and you'll discover your inner strength. On the other hand, when you embrace her history as your own, your strength wanes. If a lady drags you down by clinging to her hurtful past, instead of being a victim, she's actually a wicked lady. Sign 4, she flirts with others to keep you insecure. Being selected is what a decent lady does. Quite a dud. Her demeanor diminishes your value. Get to know the Danes. The lady Danish was seeing was very flexible and open to new ideas. Despite being in a relationship, she incessantly used phrases like, laughing, I just got a text message from my ex. Fear not, I disregarded it. This coworker is really trying to show me that he likes me. It's amusing. What if Danish ever seemed uneasy? You're so insecure, she would remark. I am not in the wrong. On the other hand, she was in the wrong. Even though he loved her, she was actively seeking out and enjoying the attention of men. Emotional stability is important to Stoics. But how can you maintain stability when the lady you love persistently threatens your feeling of security? Do not forget this. Someone whose preference for receiving male attention exceeds her value for your respect. And she isn't your lady, either. A public entertainer, she is. Your role is only that of an usher. Get out of here. Sign 5. She gaslights you every time you catch her lying. Accountability is a quality of a decent lady. Quite a dud. She manipulates your truth. This is Bill's story. Bill overheard her sending midnight texts to someone else. Keeping his cool, he inquired, you were texting that man for no apparent reason. Then she lost her cool. What gives you the willies? Again, you're behaving irrationally. On a separate occasion, he got word from a friend that she was in a relationship. Calmly, he inquired once more. This time, she sobbed. Why are you so trusting of me? You didn't seem like the usual person. An example of classic gaslighting. You're being made to feel bad for recognizing her treachery by her. As Epictetus put it, your reaction, rather than the events themselves, determines your fate. Then what happens if you respond? And she manages to make you believe that your response is the issue. Men are led to doubt their reality through Plus, when a woman dictates your world, she dictates your actions. Love isn't this. It's abusive to the mind. Sign 6. She gaslights you and makes you question your reality. This tale I'm about to tell you could hit close to home. You and your dinner companion are reminiscing over a traumatic event. Perhaps a quarrel that occurred only a week ago. You bring it up subtly in the hopes that it will be resolved. But how did she react? That never happened. You're just too sensitive. Out of nowhere, your whole perception of reality starts to tremble. Toxic women often use gaslighting as a method to manipulate their victims into believing false things and eroding their self-esteem. Any manipulative woman, not simply an unsatisfactory spouse, will do this. If she can get you to question your own abilities, she will never face consequences. Eventually, you will begin to doubt your recollection. Apologizing for something you did not do is inevitable. You will transform into a more submissive and anxious version of yourself that is always looking for validation from her. But how is it that she manages to achieve this? Through skillfully reworking the narrative of your mutual past. By informing you, you're imagining things. You're being dramatic. You always make things worse than they are. This is dishonesty personified. This is a battle of emotions. The most terrifying aspect is this. It will happen so slowly that you won't notice until it breaks you. The wisdom of the Stoics, notably Marcus Aurelius, is that clarity is the essence of truth. A Stoic guy is always on the lookout for more internal and outside clarity. Your serenity is threatened by a lady who is always trying to manipulate you and distort your judgment. Misunderstandings spark development in a strong connection. They become weapons in a poisonous one. No longer are you in love. You are engaged in psychological warfare if each interaction feels like a trial. With you as the accused and the judge predisposed to favor one of you, then how can this be fixed? Coldness and disconnection. It was not indifference, but rather the absence of negative emotions that the Stoics referred to as apatheia. Resist the urge to dispute. That doesn't mean you disprove her. Keep an eye on it. Then, when you're at peace, rather than bewildered, you make a choice. Consider whether or not this connection helps you find inner peace. If that isn't the case, you're hooking up with a deceitful lady who is slowly but surely destroying your reality. Sign 7. She only loves you when you're at your best. Ugh, this one hurts. It seems like love at first glance. She thinks you're quite ambitious. Your accomplishments are exhibited by her. She is on board with your hustle. However, when you inevitably fall, she disappears. Her fondness wanes. She goes from smiling to being irritated. A terrible lady will be jealous of your achievements, yet unforgiving of your failures. Here is an unpleasant fact for you to hear. She adores your reputation more than you. Countless men have been swept away by ladies who displayed their adoration during the good times and then disappeared during the bad. Furthermore, my brother, life is rife with storms. She was only ever holding your status, not your heart. If she can't comfort you when you're unemployed, sad, unsuccessful, or uncertain, the part that is most misleading is this. She appears to be on your side initially. When you win, she cheers. She addresses you as king. Her facade will crumble if you expose her vulnerabilities though. You both tend to be anxious, but she makes fun of it. Her withdrawal reflects your low spirits. You slow down, she says. You're getting lazy. No faithful companion here. This is a businesswoman. True friendships, according to the Stoics, are not made of transient glitz and glamour, but of lasting substance. Virtue, not vanity, was their belief. A lady who exists just to bask in your glory has no business being in your shadow. When you're down, that's when true love really shows itself. She isn't a good lady in disguise if she vanishes the second your light goes off. A real woman falls in love with your essence, not your resume. You want a partner who says, even if you lose it all, I'll help you build again. If instead she says, you've changed, you're not the man I fell for, then ask yourself, what precisely did she fall for? Don't let momentary love evolve into lifelong regret. Sign 8. She competes with you instead of supporting you. At first, it could appear like ambition. She's driven, loud, goal-oriented. You admire that. But after time, you detect something odd. Whenever you announce a victory, she quickly follows suit. Whenever you share your aspirations with her, she manages to sneakily discredit them. And when things are going swimmingly, distancing herself, jealousy, or even criticism may set in. You have entered the psychological battleground known as competition. Your success is a danger to a terrible woman's ego, which is why she can't tolerate your development. Love is just a scoreboard for her, and she becomes resentful when you're ahead. For decent guys who believe in uplifting and equality, this is particularly upsetting. You preferred a friend over an adversary. Your brilliance, though, is something she takes as a swipe at her own. Typically, this manifests as embrace the freedom to pursue your ambitions with all that spare time. Questionable expression, that's cool. Nonetheless, it is of little consequence. As a form of passive-aggressive sabotage, she will try to derail you at crucial junctures by bringing up guilt trips or demanding attention, just when you think you're about to do something essential. Without you, she sees no reason to advance. One day, she hopes to surpass you. Plus, she'll do one of two things. When you're really shining, dim the light or attempt to block it. As the Stoics pointed out, not all striving is good. Some ambitions are poisonous. Someone isn't a lover if they can't rejoice in your victories. Consider them an ally in disguise. Mutual elevation is the lifeblood of a healthy love. In private, a good lady will applaud your every move. A wicked lady secretly plans her revenge, thinking of ways to defeat you. And now, for the tragic part. Because you adore her, there are moments when you don't even realize it. The micro-attacks go unnoticed by you. My sarcasm is justified, until you come to the realization. Outside and within your own house, you are engaged in a dual conflict. Men are shattered by that understanding. A Stoic man's mental space is equally as valuable as his physical or financial possessions. It doesn't matter how lovely it is. Whomever ruins it must be abandoned. Take a moment to think about it if you've ever felt exhausted after breaking positive news. That's not affection. That's just a pretext for competition. 9. She weaponizes her tears, not her truth. The old adage goes something like, when a woman cries, the world listens. However, what if a woman's tears are actually a trap? Consider the possibility that the tears aren't genuine, but when influenced in any way. One of the worst things about a horrible woman is that she uses her emotions for control rather than connection. Come on, let's draw something. You discovered her deceit. At 1 in the morning, she received a message from her male best friend, or something about her night seemed off. With composure, you approach her and demand to know the truth. Instead of denying or explaining it, she breaks down in tears. Not just ordinary tears, but sudden, intense, trembling sobs. Just like that, you're the bad guy now. Then, before you really know what's happening, you're apologizing for asking questions that were perfectly justified. You're too controlling. You're hurting her feelings. A poisonous lady might change the storyline in this way. Her tears are an act rather than a genuine display of emotion. A strategy, an effective emotional detonator that neutralizes you even before the facts are revealed. Marcus Aurelius, a great Stoic, cautioned us not to let our outward appearances, our actions, emotions may either support or undermine reason. According to a Stoic, in addition to revealing her emotional instability, a woman who weaponizes her emotions also shows that she will not accept responsibility for her acts. And here's the worst part. A lot of decent men fall for it. Time and again. Because our purpose is to safeguard. We learn to stand firm when she falters. Your strength might backfire if her seeming frailty is an act. To spare her tears, you will stoop, grovel, apologize, and maybe even despise yourself. That's her winning way. Trust me when I say this, it's not love. It amounts to emotional coercion. That's how she gets out of her responsibility. It's her way of making you doubt your sanity by turning betrayal into victimization. This woman doesn't require assistance. Rather, she requires space. You are not with a soft-hearted person if her tears only flow when you confront her, when you defend yourself, or when you hold her responsible. You're in the company of a manipulative expert. And what's worse, your soul will be spared from the silent disintegration if you walk away, even though you'll believe you're being unkind. Honesty in expressing emotions should never be mistaken for expressing them. One recovers. In contrast, one destroys. 10. She destroys your masculinity subtly and smiles while doing it. This one is the most devastating, because it's subtle, so you don't notice it all at once, rather slowly. In silence, in excruciating pain, she starts by praising you, declares her admiration for your laser-like concentration. Keep it cool, even when things get tough. You are incredibly motivated and cautious. But then, it really begins. Some minor remarks. You seem very grave most of the time. Alternatively, why must you constantly take the lead? After that, she mocks your objectives. Everyday habits. Maintaining self-control. You put on the airs of a military officer. Take it easy. The tone is light-hearted and carefree. But there's no misunderstanding. This is the start of spiritual decay, not banter. She desires to transform you into a weaker guy, not a better one. She prefers you to be quiet. What she wants is your response. Her desire is not for your might, but for your submission. Why? She feels vulnerable with a powerful man. He stays out of her way. He is not obsessed. He is self-sufficient. It terrifies her. As a result, she begins to subtly but surely undermines the very traits that define a man. The worst thing is that you gave in and allowed her. This is due to your deep affection for her. Maybe she's right. You muzzle your voice so that you can devote more time to her. You forego your gym routine. Her quips about your alpha mentality make you giggle. Because you value her presence in your life, you put up with her rudeness. You become someone else entirely while you're doing it. It is pointless to argue about the qualities that a decent man ought to possess. Marcus Aurelius said, "Be one." And if being a decent manner, Stoic man, means safeguarding your ideals, discipline, and tranquility, then anybody who starts to make fun of those things isn't someone you should be around. Consider them a quiet adversary. Direct aggression from a terrible woman is never acceptable. She probably won't have to. She uses 1,000 passive-aggressive slashes to destroy your manhood. What she actually say is, "Really? You believe you're wiser than the rest of us? Surely you believe you're correct 100% of the time. Always seeming so unconcerned it's not real. Must be nice. I will destroy it because I can't handle your strength," is her true statement. Pay no attention to this, because one day you'll look in the mirror and not recognize yourself. Giving authority to someone who didn't deserve it may leave you feeling drained, insecure, and lost. Your manhood is accentuated by a genuine lady. Your quiet is respected by her. Your discipline is an inspiration to her. Instead of trying to quench your flame, she just stands by it and marvels at the way it illuminates your way. You shouldn't be afraid to let go in order to retain her if you feel that she's trying to change you, devalue you, or make you into someone you're not. Decide to stay. Small stature was never intended for you. Be not mocked. That is not your purpose. With cool, collected ferocity, you are created to be a leader. Whoever is afraid of that has never loved you for who you truly are. Final Stoic takeaway. Assuming you allow her, a toxic woman may destroy your serenity, self-esteem, and way forward. Keep in mind though, a man is not free until he is master of himself, Shakespeare said. You have complete control over your feelings. Your serenity is safeguarded by you. The ruler of your own mental realm is you. Crown no one who isn't deserving of it. Final message. Identifying more than 2 or 3 of these indications is necessary. Love isn't in your heart. Someone might hurt you. The way of the Stoic, a strong, composed man, is not one you can take lightly. While being attached to a lady who drains you every single day, drop the ball. Cut off. Get better. Simply put, being held by a stunning lady will not bring you inner peace. Find serenity inside yourself via self-discipline, self-value, and self-reflection. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time, you have complete control over your feelings. Your serenity is safeguarded by you. The ruler of your own mental realm is you. Crown no one who isn't deserving of it. Final message. Identifying more than 2 or 3 of these indications is necessary. Love isn't in your heart. Someone might hurt you. The way of the Stoic, a strong, composed man, is not one you can take lightly. While being attached to a lady who drains you every single day, drop the ball. Cut off. Get better. Simply put, being held by a stunning lady will not bring you inner peace. Find serenity inside yourself via self-discipline, self-value, and self-reflection. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.